Hello everybody, I hope you know me now perhaps through my books, LinkedIn learning courses, you've been coached by me, you see me on LinkedIn. If not, follow me on LinkedIn, read my books, look at my LinkedIn learning courses, or just see me on YouTube. My talks are aimed at many people, but my focus at the moment is on helping leaders. Why? Because I coach so many leaders from all over the world, and I want to impart some of the wisdom, tips and advice that I have to all of you. Today's video is focusing on how can you optimally deal with the challenges, the discomfort of changes. Why am I suggesting this is the topic today? Well, I'm coaching many people and they're all dealing with changes. The world is going through so many types of changes, and everyone I know is being challenged by having to transform, adjust, do things differently. Because perhaps their environment is changing, less money, products are changing, government spending changing, global events are affecting your organization or business. So, I realize for most of us, these sorts of changes which are mixed with uncertainty, ambiguity, volatility. I'm stealing here from a term called VUCA, V-U-C-A, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Because we're living in that kind of world, a VUCA world, changes are hard to deal with. Often because there's multiple changes, or there isn't enough clarity or information, or it's top down and you're having to accept and implement a change. Here's my advice. It's actually a 5-part process, but they're very simple pieces. It's not complicated. And I encourage you to sort of take note of each of them and have a think about which of the 5 pieces would be useful for you to practice, to implement, and have a go. And find me through LinkedIn, message me, let me know how it's going for you. So, the 5 are the following. Number 1, name and describe how you're feeling. And encourage your team and colleagues to do the same. Are you and your team feeling anxious? Is it feeling confused? Feeling a bit overwhelmed? Perhaps you're feeling a bit demotivated. Of course, there are times when you feel great about a change. You're thinking, wow, finally, we are streamlining our processes. Finally, we're changing our reporting line to something more sensible. But most of the time, sadly, the changes that we have to face are uncomfortable, causing discomfort, and often causing stress and anxiety. And I see it in my coaching. So the first thing is to really just be open with yourself and talk to others and recognize sometimes what you're feeling, a colleague may not be feeling. What you as a team lead feel, your team members may not feel. So be respectful, have empathy when people are naming different feelings, but you're all describing the same change. So that's the first thing. The second piece of advice or tip is to stop any downward spiral, to not allow negative feelings to grow, whether it's anxiety, feeling of discomfort, stress, anger perhaps, because the way you've been working and you've become comfortable with is suddenly being changed. How do you stop this potential downward spiral? It's to pause. To stop yourself gossiping and complaining, but to literally pause. To have time out. Sometimes it involves having a retreat with your team, going out of the office, or if you're working from home, to meet online or in person, have a meal, have a calm reflection. There's a form of maybe reset required. Maybe if it's particularly stressful, Go and find some mindful activities. Go for a walk in nature, meditate. But stop yourself and encourage your team members and colleagues to stop becoming more and more, whether depressed, negative, critical, or upset. The third element or piece of advice is to seek positive moments as you're working through a change, to celebrate small wins, to acknowledge to yourself or acknowledge to your team, well done for implementing this new process, or well done for sort of beginning to work on the change. Because at the end of the day, if a change has to happen within your organization or department or company, if it has to happen, then you either leave, and I don't want you to leave, so you're staying. Therefore, try and be positive. Try and find positive moments. Even if it's tedious and hard work, take time out and celebrate that you are embracing the change. You are beginning to accept and understand as a team or as a leader the changes. The fourth area or tip is really around, I call it managing change fatigue. Recognizing that you as a leader pushing numerous changes through. One change this month, another change next month, multiple changes at the same time. It can be really wearing, potentially demotivating for people you're working with. So it's so important to watch your style. Be careful about just sending out another email, pushing people to follow a certain set of procedures, or constantly having implementation committees and working groups working in the same way. Try and just lessen the load, empower differently, sometimes step back, sometimes give people a little bit more time if possible to focus on understanding a change. Just help people who are going through a lot of change, make it easier for them. Finally, the fifth tip, and I should maybe made it the first one, and it's important, and it's about you. Can you role model being a change agent? Can you role model kind of calmly working through a change? You not remaining upset for long about a change you don't like. You not acting confused for long about a change that you're not sure why it's happening. Do your research, find things out, and as quickly as possible, try to be a role model that others can work with, can look up to. You don't have to pretend to your team you accept and you like everything, but you're showing a willingness to work with a new way of working, a new approach, a new system, a new reporting line. You're showing a willingness, and you're seeking the positives in it. I hope those 5 tips can help you. You don't have to follow each of them. You don't have to remember the names of all of them. It's just to remember when change is happening to you, to pause and try and maturely and positively work through the changes, especially when you're leading other people and they're looking to you. They're literally looking to you for leadership to help them through and deal with all kinds of changes. So I hope you find my 5 tips of help. You don't have to follow each of them, but be aware of them. And remember, when you're facing different changes or transformations, just take a pause and think through, how am I reacting to these changes? How are my team feeling? And how can I help myself and my team through these changes? Particularly when you can't stop the change, you have to accept and embrace the change. How can you do that more optimally, more motivatingly? So I wish you well, and keep in touch with me. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Drop me an email. Leave a message in the YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And I look forward to seeing you or speaking to you in my other YouTube videos. Bye bye for now.